The sun was slowly setting over Miami Beach, turning the sky orange and gold. At the far end of the coastline stood a huge white mansion, bigger than any house in the neighborhood. It belonged to Omar al-Hassan, an Arab millionaire known for his expensive lifestyle, strict rules, and cold heart. Inside the mansion, Maya Johnson quietly moved through the long hallways with a cleaning cart. She was a young black maid, calm-natured, hard-working, and always polite. She never argued, never complained. She just did her job with a small smile on her face. But only she knew how heavy her heart often felt. Maya had dreams, but dreams were not allowed inside Omar's mansion. Her dream was simple: she wanted to become a fashion designer one day. She loved colors, fabric, and the idea of creating beauty. But life had pushed her into cleaning floors instead of designing clothes. Still, she kept a little notebook in her bag filled with her secret sketches. On this particular evening, the mansion was busier than normal. Workers ran around preparing for Omar's upcoming charity event. Expensive flowers were being delivered. Boxes of decorations were everywhere. But Omar was in a bad mood. He walked through the mansion with sharp steps, his voice echoing against the marble walls. "No mistakes this week," he warned his staff. "This event is important. If anything goes wrong, you all will answer to me." Everyone nodded quickly, including Maya. She kept her eyes down and pushed her cart forward. A dress that should never have been touched. Late at night, Maya entered one of the guest rooms to finish cleaning. She turned on the light and froze. On the bed lay a beautiful, shimmering gold dress, covered in delicate stones and soft lace. It glowed under the room lights, almost like magic. Maya had never seen anything so beautiful in her life. She walked closer, gently touching the fabric with her fingertips. She whispered to herself, "Wow! I wish I could wear something like this someday." Her voice was soft, full of innocent hope. But she didn't know someone had entered the room. A deep voice spoke behind her. "Wear it. You." Maya jumped back. It was Omar al-Hassan. Her heart started beating fast. She stepped away from the dress immediately. "Yes, sir. I was just cleaning." "I didn't." Omar raised a hand, stopping her. "No need to explain," he said, smirking. "I heard you." Maya lowered her head, embarrassed. Omar walked to the dress and lifted it with both hands. "This dress belonged to my ex-fiancée. It is custom made. Only a certain type of woman can wear this." There was something cruel in his voice. Something that cut deeper than he realized. Then he looked at Maya slowly from head to toe. "If you fit in this dress," he said with a mocking laugh, "I'll marry you." His voice echoed in the room. Maya's heart broke a little. She felt her cheeks burn, not out of anger but out of deep hurt. She forced a small smile. "I didn't mean anything, sir. I'm sorry." Omar shrugged and left the room, still laughing. Maya stood there alone, staring at the dress. She whispered to herself, "Why do I let people make me feel small?" A quiet decision. That night, after finishing her work, Maya walked home slowly. She lived in a small apartment and reached it almost at midnight. She sat on her bed and stared at her hands. She remembered Omar's laugh. She remembered the dress. She remembered the feeling of being looked down on. Something changed inside her. She took out her sketchbook, the one she always kept hidden, and flipped through the pages. Beautiful designs filled the book. Dresses, gowns, modern outfits, all drawn with love. She touched the pages gently. Then she whispered, "I will change my life. Not for him, but for me." Her voice shook, but her decision was strong. The dress returns. The next day, when she returned to the mansion, Maya kept her head high. She cleaned rooms, arranged flowers, and helped the event planner. but inside her heart, a fire had started. During lunch break, she walked quietly into the laundry room where no one could see her. There, she stared at the gold dress again, now hanging on a rack. Every thread, every sparkle called to her. She slowly lifted it. Her hands shook. She checked the hallway, empty. Then, with a deep breath, she closed the laundry room door. She held the dress against her body. Her heart raced. Could she? She looked at herself in the mirror. The dress, without even wearing it, already looked closer to her size than she expected. Her breath caught. For a moment, she imagined herself wearing it, standing under bright lights, confident, beautiful, strong. But then footsteps sounded in the hallway. Maya panicked and quickly hid the dress back on the rack. She pretended to fold towels. The footsteps passed. But Maya's heart didn't calm down. Something had awakened inside her. A silent promise. A promise that Omar's cruel laugh would not be the final chapter of her life. The first hint of change. Later that night, when everyone had gone home, Maya returned to the laundry room again. This time, she locked the door. She looked at the dress in the mirror. She took a deep breath. And she tried it on. The zipper didn't close completely. But it came much closer than even she expected. Maya stared at herself with wide eyes. Her voice was a whisper. It almost fits. Then she smiled for the first time that day. Not a forced smile. A real one. The next morning, Miami's sky was bright blue, but Maya felt different than the day before. She walked into Omar's mansion with a strange mix of fear and excitement in her heart. She kept thinking about last night, the moment when she tried on the gold dress and realized it almost fit. She could still hear Omar's laugh. His voice replayed in her mind. If you fit in that dress, I'll marry you. It hurt, yes, but it also pushed her. She felt something grow inside her, determination. A new routine begins. After finishing the morning cleaning, Maya sat alone on a small bench behind the mansion. She had a simple sandwich in her hand, but she wasn't hungry. She was thinking. She pulled out her phone and searched something she never thought she would. Beginner workout for weight loss. Healthy meals on a low budget. How to build self-confidence. Her life had been the same for years: work, sleep, repeat. But today, she wanted change. She quietly whispered to herself. I can do this. Even if no one believes in me. After work, she didn't go straight home. She walked into a small, cheap gym near her apartment. The trainer looked at her kindly. First time, he asked. Yes, Maya said softly. She didn't tell him about the dress. She didn't tell him about the insult. She kept that pain inside, and used it as fuel. Building discipline. Days passed. Maya's routine slowly changed. Every morning she woke up earlier. She jogged around her block. She ate healthier food. She drank more water. She practiced breathing, posture, confidence. After work, she spent an hour in the gym. At night, she worked on her sewing and dressmaking skills. Her life became busy, yet she felt lighter every day. But she kept everything a secret. Not even her closest friend knew. She only talked to her sketchbook. Omar starts noticing, but won't admit it. Omar Al-Hassan, the millionaire who insulted her, had no idea about her secret mission. But slowly, he began noticing tiny changes in Maya. One afternoon, he saw her carrying heavy boxes for the charity event. She looked stronger than before. Another day, he saw her walking through the hallway with more confidence. Strange, he thought. She looks different. But Omar was a proud man. He didn't like to admit he was wrong about anything. So he pretended not to see the change. Still, sometimes his eyes followed her a little longer. And sometimes he found himself wondering, what is she planning? The dress's secret twin. While working late one evening, Maya took out some fabric she bought with her small savings. It wasn't real silk, it wasn't real lace, it wasn't even close to the expensive gold dress she had seen. But it was hers. And she believed in it. Maya started stitching a replica dress, not for Omar, not for the mansion, not for anyone. But for herself. Each stitch felt like healing. Each thread felt like strength. She worked quietly, hour after hour. Her hands sometimes shook, but she never stopped. "This is my dream," she whispered. "I will not let anyone make me feel small again." The mansion's big announcement. The next week, Omar gathered all the staff in the grand hall. "Everyone listen," he said in a strong voice. "The charity event is only 3 weeks away. It must be perfect. Rich guests, news reporters, celebrities, they will all be here." People murmured nervously. Omar continued, "I expect complete professionalism." His eyes suddenly stopped on Maya. Just for a second. Just a flicker. Maya felt her stomach twist. Did he know something? Had he seen the dress? Did he hear her practicing confidence in the hallway? No one knew. A conversation Omar wasn't supposed to hear. That evening, something unexpected happened. Maya stepped outside the mansion to make a call. Her voice was soft, but Omar, who was walking nearby, overheard the last part of the conversation. "What did you say?" Omar asked, stepping closer. Maya jumped, surprised. She didn't know he was behind her. I I was just talking to a friend," she said nervously. Omar narrowed his eyes. "What did you say about leaving?" Maya froze. She didn't plan to tell him anything. But she wasn't going to lie either. Finally, she said quietly, "I said, I will not work here forever. I have a plan." Omar raised an eyebrow. "A plan? What kind of plan?" Maya took a deep breath, gathering courage she didn't know she had. "A better future," she said softly. "A future where I choose who I become." Omar didn't speak for a long moment. His face was unreadable. Finally, he said only one sentence. "We'll see." Then he walked away. Maya stood there, heart beating fast. Did he take it as a challenge? Was he angry? Was he curious? She didn't know. But she knew one thing. He had heard enough to feel threatened. The cliffhanger moment. Later that night, when most staff had gone home, Maya returned to her sewing table. Her replica dress was almost done. Almost perfect. She held it up and smiled. "I am getting closer," she whispered. But when she turned around, her smile vanished. Someone was standing outside the half-open door. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. A shadow. Tall. Still. Watching. Her heart raced. Did they see the dress? Did they hear her whisper? Was it Omar? The room felt colder suddenly. And Maya felt that her secret life was no longer completely secret. The next morning, the Miami sun shone bright over Omar al-Hassan's mansion. Birds chirped, waves crashed in the distance, but inside, Maya Johnson was too busy to notice. Her mind was full of her secret mission, the gold dress replica she had been working on for weeks. Last night's shadow at the door had frightened her, yes, but it had also made her more determined. She would not stop. She could not stop. This dress was more than just fabric. It was her courage stitched into every thread. A near-perfect dress. By mid-morning, Maya was almost finished with her creation. The replica dress had every detail: soft lace, tiny sequins, and a flowing hem. She tried it on in the privacy of the laundry room. Her eyes widened in disbelief. The zipper closed perfectly. It fit her like a dream. Her heart raced. I. I did it, she whispered. This wasn't about Omar laughing at her anymore. This was about proving something to herself. She could achieve anything if she worked for it. She smiled, feeling a warmth she hadn't felt before. She was proud, stronger, unstoppable. Omar's suspicion. Meanwhile, Omar had begun noticing small things about Maya. He couldn't deny it. She walked differently now. Her head held high, her shoulders straight. She worked faster, cleaner, more confident. She seemed untouchable. For the first time, he felt a twist of curiosity. "What is she up to?" he asked his assistant one afternoon. "She's always so quiet," the assistant replied. Omar frowned. He didn't like not knowing. Not about anything. And yet, he could not stop himself from watching her from across the hall. The mansion prepares for the event. The charity event was only a week away, and the mansion was in chaos. Lights, flowers, photographers, and waiters rushed about. Maya, as always, stayed quiet in the background. But this time, she moved with purpose. She arranged flowers, adjusted curtains, and helped guests without waiting to be asked. Omar noticed her again. He caught a glimpse of her hands. They were stained with thread and fabric dust. He frowned. Why is she working so late? What is she making? Something about Maya was different, and it bothered him more than he expected. The accidental discovery. One night, Maya left her sewing bag in Omar's office by mistake. She had been working late and rushed to the laundry room to clean something. Omar, returning from a late meeting, found the bag sitting by his desk. Curiosity overcame him. He opened it and froze. Inside was the replica gold dress. Every sequin, every lace detail, it was perfect. Better than he expected. He picked up the fabric and held it to the light. His mind raced. This is the dress, the same one I laughed at. But it's hers. Maya. Omar's eyes widened. Something he rarely felt stirred inside, shock. Confrontation without words. The next morning, Omar watched Maya from across the hall. She was folding towels with her usual calm, but now he saw something new: confidence, strength, and quiet pride. He didn't speak to her immediately. Instead, he stayed silent, walking away with his mind racing. How did she do it? Did she really make that dress? And why am I impressed? For the first time, Omar felt small in front of her talent. A rising suspense. The mansion staff whispered about Maya's sudden change. Some thought she had a secret admirer. Others thought she was hiding a hidden talent. Maya ignored it all. She worked late every night, stitching, folding, and perfecting the dress. But Omar couldn't stop thinking about it. Every time he walked past the laundry room, his eyes lingered. And then came the day of the charity event. Event day chaos. The mansion was alive with activity. Celebrities arrived, photographers clicked, and the air smelled of roses and perfume. Maya worked tirelessly behind the scenes, helping the event run smoothly. Her dress replica sat carefully folded in a corner, safe, but ready. Omar noticed her again. She moved with calm authority, yet there was something different in her eyes. He finally asked, almost unconsciously. What is she planning? No one answered. He didn't need them to. He could feel it in the air. Maya was about to show the world who she really was. The moment of truth. Later that night, Maya's replica dress caught the attention of a famous fashion designer visiting from New York. He saw her sketches, noticed the dress, and whispered to his assistant. She has talent. Real talent. She needs a chance. Omar's jaw tightened. He felt a strange mix of pride and unease. Maya didn't know Omar was watching the designer notice her work. She just smiled quietly, focused on her dream. And then just for a second Omar saw something he hadn't before, the power of someone refusing to be small. Cliffhanger ending. That night, Maya packed the dress carefully into a box. Her plan was simple: show the designer tomorrow and secure her chance. But as she closed the door to her room, she felt a presence outside. She froze. Her heart raced. Was he there? Omar stood in the shadows, watching quietly. For the first time, he was speechless. Maya didn't know he had discovered her secret. She didn't know her quiet determination had already made him notice. And she had no idea. The real challenge was only beginning. The morning sun cut through the tall windows of Omar Al-Hassan's mansion, spilling light across the marble floors. Maya Johnson sat at her sewing table, her hands busy adjusting the last details of her replica dress. Her heart beat fast, but not with fear. This was the moment she had been working toward for weeks. The moment her talent could finally shine. She did not know that someone was watching her from the hallway. Omar Al-Hassan had returned early from a business meeting. His eyes, usually sharp and cold, were now wide with curiosity and something else he had not felt in a long time: respect. The confrontation. Omar stepped into the room quietly, letting Maya focus on her work. He picked up a piece of fabric. "You made this." His voice was low, but there was no mockery this time. Maya froze. She slowly turned toward him, holding the dress carefully. "Yes," she said softly. "I did." Omar studied her. Every thread, every delicate lace pattern. The dress was perfect. "Why?" he asked, almost whispering. Maya met his gaze calmly. "Because I wanted to prove something to myself. Not to anyone else." For a moment, Omar had no words. He had insulted her, laughed at her dream, yet here she stood, stronger, confident, unstoppable. The power shift. The mansion was buzzing with activity that day, preparing for the charity event. Guests were arriving from Miami and beyond, and photographers were already taking pictures outside. Maya moved with calm authority, guiding assistants and making sure every detail was perfect. Her dress replica stayed hidden, but her confidence was impossible to ignore. Omar noticed every step she took. He realized, for the first time, that she was not just a maid. She was capable, intelligent, and talented, something he had never acknowledged before. He felt small. And he hated that feeling. Yet, he could not deny it. Maya had shifted the balance of power. She no longer belonged to his world of orders and insults. She had carved her own space. The fashion designer's discovery. That evening, a famous fashion designer from New York arrived at the mansion. He was here to attend a charity event but had secretly been scouting new talent. By chance, he spotted Maya carefully organizing sketches and designs she had kept hidden in her bag. "This work, it's exceptional," the designer whispered to his assistant. "She has raw talent. We need to meet her." Maya's heart raced. She had worked in silence, hidden her dreams from the world, and now, someone had finally noticed. Omar watched silently from a distance. He felt a mix of pride and fear. Pride for her achievement and fear because he knew he had underestimated her. The moment of respect. Later, Omar approached Maya while she was packing her dress into a box. "You didn't do this for me," he said quietly, almost as if confirming what he already knew. "No," Maya replied calmly. "I did it for myself." Omar studied her, trying to measure the change. He realized she was no longer the quiet, timid maid who had once cowered under his sharp words. She had grown mentally, emotionally, and creatively. For the first time, Omar respected her. And respect, for him, was more powerful than laughter, insults, or money. The offer she couldn't ignore. The designer asked to meet Maya privately in a small room behind the main hall. She walked in, heart racing, carrying her sketches and dress. "Your work is amazing," he said sincerely. "I want to offer you an internship in New York. You will learn, design, and one day, I believe you will be famous." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. She had dreamed of this moment for years, and now it was finally happening. She nodded quietly. I I will do it." Outside, Omar watched the meeting. His expression was unreadable, but deep down, he felt a strange mix of admiration and longing. Cliffhanger, Maya's choice. That night, Maya returned to her small apartment to pack for her trip to New York. The replica dress lay neatly folded on her bed. She thought about Omar, the man who had laughed at her and insulted her. She thought about the mansion, the staff, and her long nights of hard work. And she thought about herself, the strong, confident woman she had become. She whispered to herself, "I earned this. No one gave it to me." Suddenly, a knock sounded at her door. She froze. "Who is it?" she called softly. The door opened slowly, and Omar stood there. He looked different, less arrogant, more human. "Maya," he said quietly, "that day I joked. But now, I wasn't joking. You fit the dress. You fit my life." Maya's heart skipped a beat. She had expected many things, but this was not one of them. She looked at him calmly. "I didn't do this for you," she said softly. Omar smiled, a rare, genuine smile. "I know. And that's why I respect you. But still, I can't ignore what I feel." Maya swallowed. Her hands shook slightly. She was proud of herself, but Omar's words stirred something she hadn't expected. For the first time, she realized, this was her choice. Not his, not the world's, only hers. The final tension. As Maya packed her bag for New York, the air between them felt heavy. Omar wanted to stop her. He wanted her to stay. But he knew he couldn't force it. And Maya knew something too: her future was waiting outside that mansion, stitched together by her own hands. She held the replica dress close. She whispered one last promise to herself. "I will go. And I will succeed, on my own terms." Omar watched silently, knowing that the real challenge, the test of hearts, respect, and dreams, was only just beginning. And with that, the stage was set for the final chapter. The early morning sun spilled golden light across Maya Johnson's small apartment in Miami. Today was the day. Today, she would leave for New York. Her replica gold dress was neatly folded in a box, her sketches carefully stacked. She had worked so hard for this moment. For years, her dreams had been silent, hidden in notebooks and whispered to herself. But now, the world would see her. She took a deep breath and whispered, "I did it, finally." A visitor at the door. Just as Maya picked up her suitcase, a soft knock sounded at her door. Her heart skipped a beat. She wasn't expecting anyone. When she opened the door, she froze. Omar Al-Hassan stood there. His usual confidence was softened by something she had never seen before: vulnerability. "Maya," he said quietly. "Before you go, I need to say something." Maya felt a rush of mixed emotions. Anger, pride, and curiosity swirled inside her. "What is it?" she asked calmly. Omar took a deep breath. "That day, when I joked about the dress, I wasn't thinking. I was cruel. But now, I know I was wrong. You are incredible. Strong. Talented. And I can't ignore it." Maya blinked. She had expected an apology, maybe respect. But this was different. The confession. Omar stepped closer. His eyes met hers. "Maya, I laughed at you, but now, I realize I was seeing only a small part of you. You've grown, and I respect that. More than I can say." Maya's heart pounded. For months, she had feared his judgment. For months, she had worked silently, believing in herself. She straightened. I didn't do this for you. I did it for me. For my dreams. Omar smiled, a rare, genuine smile. And that's exactly why I want you. Not the dress, not because I laughed before. But because of who you are. Your strength. Your courage. You fit my life now not because of the dress, but because of you. Maya's eyes widened. She had worked for independence, for success. She had not expected love or admiration from the man who once mocked her. The decision. Maya stood silently, weighing her choices. She could go to New York and pursue her career. She could stay and face Omar's feelings. But she knew something important: she had earned her independence, and nothing, no money, no apology, no love could take that away. She finally spoke. I will go to New York. I earned this. I will not let anyone stop me. Omar nodded. He understood. He stepped back, but then, something unexpected happened. The surprise proposal. Months later, Maya had become a rising star in New York's fashion world. She worked with top designers, her skills improving every day. Her confidence had grown even more, but she never forgot Omar or the lessons she learned in that mansion. One evening, a glamorous charity event in Miami brought Maya back. She was wearing one of her own designs, now a stunning gold dress inspired by the one she had once made in secret. As she walked into the hall, Omar was waiting. The crowd's attention didn't matter to them. Omar stepped forward, holding a small velvet box in his hands. Maya, he said, his voice steady but emotional. I know you did all this for yourself. And I've watched you grow stronger than I could have imagined. I laughed at you once, but I see the truth now. Not the dress, but you. I want to spend my life with you. Will you marry me? Maya felt tears prick her eyes. She had dreamed of success, respect, and freedom. But love had never been part of the plan. She smiled, confident and proud. I did this for me first. And I will marry you, only because I choose to. Omar opened the box. The ring glittered under the chandeliers. She took it, feeling the weight of her journey, the late nights, the hard work, the silent victories. The celebration. The crowd around them clapped, but Maya only saw Omar's eyes. They were no longer mocking, no longer cold. They were full of admiration, respect, and genuine love. Months later, Maya's fashion line debuted in New York. The replica dress had inspired an entire collection. Omar sponsored her show, standing proudly by her side. The world saw Maya as a talented designer, confident and unstoppable. But she knew the truth: it wasn't just talent or luck. It was hard work, courage, and believing in herself even when everyone doubted her. And Omar? He had learned a lesson too. Respect, love, and admiration could not be forced. They were earned, and Maya had earned them both. The final reflection. Maya stood in her studio, looking at sketches and fabrics. She remembered the day Omar laughed at her. She smiled. That moment, that cruel joke, had been the spark. It had pushed her to rise, to grow, and to shine. She whispered to herself. I did it. I became me. And I chose my life, and my love. The camera pans out from Maya's bright, bustling studio, showing her sketches, fabrics, and the gold dress displayed proudly. Outside, Miami's skyline glows in the sunset. Fade out. The end.